Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Did you know that Alcor made a huge change to its liquidity pool? It's changed over to version 2.0, which is supposed to be a lot more efficient than the previous version of the liquidity pool. Plus, you'll see some UI changes or some interface changes as you're in here. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go ahead and do a video to explain the differences and what's really new with the liquidity pool. Plus, the swap is a little bit different too. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a full second video here in the next few days that walks you through how to do this and how to really use the new liquidity pool that's available out there. So let's go ahead and dive in there. What's new? Well, when you go to Alcor, I'm on the wax side of it. If you click on swap, you're going to see that the swap looks completely different than it did before. Before you had swap, liquidity in, liquidity out. Now you only have two options in the top here. You have the swap and you have the pool. The swap is pretty much the same as it was before. If I go ahead and I select any other item or any other token out there, and if I go ahead and click on it, it's going to go ahead and give me the equivalent for it. It's a simple swap. That's all it is. It lets you know the swap. It gives you the range. It gives you the expected output, at least the minimum output that you're going to get in TLM. And then you have some other options as far as the multi-root go, but that we'll cover in the other story. But as far as the swap goes, it's the same process. It just looks a little bit different. The difference is going to be when you go over to the liquidity pool. It's going to look completely different. You can go ahead and look at new positions. But before we really take a deep look at this, let's go ahead. Let's take a step back and see what the actual difference is between the two. So I'm going to have a link to the article, the Medium article that has the description of all the details that are different. Also, if you're not familiar with Alcor, it is one of the major exchanges on the Wax blockchain. There's really two exchanges right now, maybe three. We'll hesitate and say three. But the two main exchanges right now on the Wax blockchain is Alcor and TacoSwap. But we're going to focus on Alcor for this one. So I'll have a link to both Alcor, the Wax edition, down below, and also this Medium article that we're about to talk about. This is it. This is what we were talking about. I just showed you this as far as the swap goes. What's basically has happened is Alcor's been around since February 2020. Hasn't made any huge changes to the swap or the liquidity since that time frame. They've gone through a whole process, did a lot of testing, and they really came up with an idea that makes liquidity pools a whole lot more efficient. So in the past, you've actually been able to lose quite a bit of crypto if the price of the token that you're in there tanks. You could lose a good portion of it. What this new liquidity pool, they call it concentrated liquidity, as you can see right here, concentrated. Essentially, you have a range of prices that you can allocate. You can either go with the full range, 0 to infinity, or you can say, I only want to sell within the range of 0.5 and 0.7. So if you stay in that range, it's supposed to be a lot more efficient. They even say from their testing it is 4,000 times more efficient than what has been in the past. So that's really interesting. This literally just launched on Friday. So it's only been around for a few days. I went ahead and will be putting some in there to test it out to see if it is really more efficient than it was in the past. Really curious. Some of the numbers that they show here are pretty interesting. So I do also want to go ahead and say I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research. A lot of what I'm saying here is directly from their Medium article. So I'm not speculating anything. I'm not promising anything. Make sure you do your own research before you jump into anything, especially something like this. I normally don't cover the liquidity pools side of it other than how to use it. So I don't want to make any promises, and that's not what I'm doing here. All right, financial disclaimer out of there. You understand, do your own research. All right, back to the actual concentrated liquidity. I'm just going by what they're saying on here. What they're saying is there's an ability to get a significantly increased revenue from fees and reduce your overall risk. That's what they're saying with this new efficient modeling. As you scroll down here, you can really kind of read through and see some of the diagrams that they have in here. Really, what the version 1.0 of their liquidity pool, and I'm assuming they're implying this to others, which I'm not saying they are, that the original way that liquidity pools are done were very inefficient, unpredictable. You could have big losses. You could have big gains too, depending on how everything works. But it's really, really unpredictable, and that's really the nature, unfortunately, of crypto right now. Is there's a lot of volatility around it. So what this concentrated liquidity does, it gives you some barriers, some brackets to be within, which should reduce the overall volatility with the market with liquidity pools, and that's what they're trying to bring into here. If you scroll down in the article, it kind of shows you a little bit more. The original liquidity pools, you had 0 to infinity, so you basically didn't matter what the price was, you would be impacted, and it wouldn't be efficient, and the chance of really having some value from it is reduced quite a bit. But if you're able to basically bracket or limit the price range that your liquidity pulls in this example, it's 0.95 to 1.05. It makes it much, much more efficient. I'm going to be testing that over the next few days. This literally just dropped. For those math guys out there, you can go ahead and dive into this a little deeper. It also is going to give you another option in here. As you can see here, this is the original Alcor version 1.0. Now there's going to be multiple. There's going to be 2 options. You can have just a one position liquidity pool. Basically, one position means between X and Y, or you can have a multiple positioning, which means only 5% of your stuff goes between X and Y, 10% goes between Z and Y, and then so forth. So you can have one. You can have, the way I'm explaining is a whole lot more complicated. You can see on here, you can have 10% here, 10% in this price range, 10% in this range, and so forth down the road, which makes it a lot more efficient, and you're limiting the actual risk that you're putting out there as far as what you could lose. You still could lose stuff. Please keep that in mind. This is not guaranteed. There's nothing guaranteed about crypto anywhere, but this actually helps you make it more efficient and make the volatility a whole lot less than you would normally have coming into this. Here's some examples. Again, these are examples that they provided, maybe based on their testing. Does not guarantee anything, so please understand that as you take a look at this. Version 1.0, if Alice put in there $1,500 at the range from 0 to infinity, she had a chance of getting $2.05 per day. That's it. Because of the wide variety of pricing and the wide ranges, just wasn't super efficient. According to this test or this example, Bob could put the same amount in there and put the price range of 0.2 and the max of 0.3, and he would have a chance of getting $14 a day just because it's a whole lot more efficient, and it's just a better option and reduces your overall risk, which I keep saying. But if he wanted the same results that Alice got, he would only have to put in there 270, the same range, much more efficient, and get the same results from that. That's what their hypothesis behind this is. It seems really interesting. I really like the concept of it. It gives you a lot more control over your liquidity pool and your funds, which is very, very interesting to me. So I'm definitely going to be testing this out and checking out. Highly encourage you to, if that's what you want to do, of course. When you go in there, I'll jump over to Alcor here in a second now. It is live. It's as simple as this, is dragging the bar around back and forth. I'm going to do a whole video on how it actually works, but we're going to go ahead and just show you an example. Wax over to, let's go ahead and do FGL. And what we're going to see is you're going to see this. It's going to give you a few fee tiers that you can select. It's totally up to you what you want to do. Also lets you pick how much you want to put in there. I'm not actually going to put it in here yet because I need to move some stuff around before I actually put some liquidity in there. But it allows you to pick your range. You can go ahead and leave the defaults that are in there. You can do a 30% range. You can do a 10% range if you really want to get in there. Or you can go ahead and do the traditional infinite range. It's totally up to you. They give you the option. Or if you don't like any of these preset ranges, you can actually go ahead and say, I want to do this. Oops, I want to go ahead and do this. And then I want to go on this side. It's off the chart right now. So let's go ahead and do this. I want to make this side to the 76, but I want to cap my low end of it and put it only at 30. you can be as flexible as you want to be. It gives you the current price and gives you the range that's in there. Again, I'll go ahead and do a full other video on this. I just wanted to make sure that you are aware this is available. So if you're at all interested in going ahead and jumping into liquidity pool, we'll say, definitely check this out. I know TacoSwap has a bunch of options out there. I have never seen anything like this yet on the market, especially for on the Wax blockchain. So it's definitely worth checking out. So it's up to you what you want to do with your liquidity pools. If you already have funds in liquidity pools, go ahead and check them out, especially if they're in the Alcor market. You may want to make some adjustments, check it out, see if the efficiency is better. Track what you've done over the past month or so, and then put some brackets on there, put some ranges on there, and then see if it's more efficient. Let me know down in the comments below. Have you tested it out? Have you been in there to Alcor to really check this new liquidity, concentrated liquidity option that's out there? And let me know what your thoughts are of it. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye.